Hello everybody, this is Chief 321 right here right now doing another vintage G.I. Joe video. It's actually a kind of a repair video actually. We're going to repair Dialtone's O-ring. As you can tell, he is extremely loose. And we're not only going to do this, I'm also going to show the ins and outs of how to repair. Yes, repair, you're hearing it right here, right now. The dreaded Zartan and the family. I'll have tips on what to do and what not to do. So stay tuned. As we get ready to repair Dialtone, we got to remove his backpack and his accessories. I know this is the wrong gun, but right now that will be talked about later in another time. So we're going to go ahead and put him in the push-up position for the moment. Now I have several tools that I will be using. This is one of them. I enjoy this little kit right here. I use this Phillips to get the screws in and out of the back of the action figures that I repair. Now, as I get ready to repair him, there's a lot of people saying you can buy a lot of O-rings, and I'm talking a lot of O-rings, kind of fairly cheap on eBay. Well, I've bought this bag for under $10 and replaced two of my action figures with these. I've repaired a old vintage one, and in the process of bringing the O-ring up, it actually broke the crotch. The piece went flying, hit the wall, and never to be seen ever again. Also used it to repair a Viper the same night. Actually did the Viper first, and the next day his whole chest just completely popped off. So I'm not very happy with buying off of eBay as far as the O-rings. If you're going to buy them, I would ask first of all the size and the dimensions of the O-rings. Now this, I've had this for 6 years now. Here is the number of it, who makes this particular brand. As you can see, it's the metric O-rings. It has quite a bit. Now I don't use all of them. I'll open this up here real quick. Now the sizes I actually use would be this one here and this one here the most. I still use this a little bit, but only as a backup. And here is a list of the sizes. So this would be the one, and this. Let me see if I can zoom in here. So those are the sizes I use, and I really like this case. I went to the local auto parts store and they did not have this. So I'm going to be checking with the local hardwares around my area and see if I can still pick this up and if it's still available. Now as we get ready to repair, you simply take the Phillips end here, insert right back here, and I like this screwdriver because I can put it right against my palm. I have a nice soft silicone handle to turn and give it a simple loose, pop out the screw. I turn the head, pull the head out, the shoulders, and as you can see, the O-ring is still in contact. It's not broke, but it is really stretched and it's wore out. Now I also have some tips on how to kind of help prevent this. Now some people prefer, if you do buy these, use scissors or a pair of pliers and stretch them. I don't think, if I'm buying a brand new one, I shouldn't have to stretch it. That's my point. I've never had to stretch any of these whatsoever. It was simple. I pop it in and pop it out. You're going to watch me right here. I'm going to open this. I'm going to grab one. Now the way to really tell if you're doing a good job on this or not is to see the dimension of the O-ring, well, the thickness. I call it the circumference, and the size. Now I know I've used that particular one quite a bit, and here we go. I just hook up and over, and carefully I squeeze it to kind of pull it up. Now at this point, if it becomes hard to actually hook onto it, what you can do is get a paper clip, bend it over and make like the S shape, and hook right on and pull it right on through. I like to use the end of the screwdriver tip, so I use my screwdriver a little bit more. And then simply hook over here, over the stem of the back. And now we just reassemble. Now I like to put the arms dangling down, as you can see here. Put the head up, and I start to raise the whole body about a 45-degree angle. Line. Oh, now sometimes that does happen, and take your time if you are repairing your first action figure. Okay, just pop this open. Come on. Be patient. Take your time. Make sure the arms are free. Everything's good. At this point, reassemble. Okay, slowly. I don't like to cram it in there. I like to kind of let it drop itself in. And at this point, I put my weight on my palm, on the screw. I hold the figure with my action figure with my finger or fingers, and I just lightly turn to where it's snug. I don't like to over tighten too much, because if you do, you can strip out the inside part of the chest where it screws into and becomes difficult. Now take a look. He is a lot tighter. He still has a little play, but I like it. It's simple, and that's it for repairing him. Rather than putting his accessories back on, and here we go. Now, as we get ready to do Zartan, I have a Zartan that is broken. He is actually my second version of Zartan. Now, I don't know how many different ones there were available when I got my first one. So this is my first Zartan. As you can see, he's got the pad that changes, and the knee pad, or the shins that change color too. Well, I have the second version of him where it's a solid pad. The other one broke, and his buckle on a belt and the keychain holder, I guess, is different than this one here. And not only that, this one here has a different chest piece. It's the same mold, as you can see. It's just done differently. Now, as we get ready to do him, as far as repairing Zartan, there is some things you need to know. Some people talk about the easiest way to repair these three, since their skins actually change color. They're actually glued on the side with some kind of adhesive. Some people say it's super glue. I honestly don't know. I've had people say you need to boil the figure and to the point where it's loose and it just pops apart. Well, I don't believe in doing that. One reason, no one told me how long do you boil the figure. Do you have to worry about the figure dropping to the bottom of the pan and becoming a melted piece of plastic? At that point, I took that idea, grabbed it, and threw it completely out the window. If you want to do that, that is totally up to you at your own risk. Now, what I've done, I've talked to several people, and this Xandar is my oldest Dreadnought I have. He was my very first. It took me a long time to get the nerve to actually want to repair him. He was broke for the last 4 years, and it broke my heart to start to repair him. Now, some people told me take a utility knife and score along the side. Well, I did once on this side, and you can see it leaves a pretty big void. And the problem is with a utility knife is it's too wide this way as you look at the tip of the blade. It's too thick. You need to go thinner. You need to make it skinnier. And the skinnier, the better. Well, I did both sides twice, and as far with the utility knife, when I saw it was this deep, I stopped immediately. I continued for 2 years. Whoops. She's doing ballet now. Oh, interesting. New talent you have. I found out, I went to a hobby store and I told him my situation with Xandar here. He recommended to get a hold of a hobby knife. And I don't like to promote tools unless I have good results. And I have good results with this. When I bought this one, it actually came with a number 2 blade. Now, the blade itself was a bit thick, and it took me a long time. I had to score from the armpit all the way down, and I mean all the way down, from there all the way to the very end. To do one side alone with that number 2, it took me 55 minutes on each side. So yes, I spent over 2 hours. My fingers got to a point I couldn't hold it steady. I was nervous. I was shaky. My nerves were at a level of quadrillion whatever. I was just too nervous. I have too many good memories with this action figure, with too many friends. That's why I was afraid that I would destroy him by accident. So I found out by going back to the guy I told him about the blade being too thick. He recommended to go thinner. The higher the number, the skinnier the blade is. Now, I have a number 11 already loaded in here. And what I'm going to do with this video is I'm going to demonstrate on how to work on Zartan. Well, the principles are the same as working on Xandar. Like I said, Zartan and Zarana. You just got to be careful and take your time. If you get nervous, your fingers cramp up like mine did, just set it down, get up, have a drink, a coffee, water, whatever your favorite Yojo Cola is, and take a deep breath, relax. Remember just to relax and take your time. And that is the hardest thing for me to do, because I work all night, and when I come home and I want to work on one of these, I just want to hurry up and get it done so I don't have to spend all night on it. As you can see, I'm lightly scoring, and that is what you want to do. Lightly score and just follow the groove. Don't go too fast. If you feel it slide off, lift up. Now, these are my helpful tips. I hope this does help you be able to repair your Zartan, Xandar, and Zarana. Now, I don't have a lot of time left on this. The maximum time I'm allowed to record and post on YouTube is 15 minutes. And right now we're at 14. So I'm going to go ahead and shut off the camera. I will continue to work on Zartan. When I get him apart, I'll show that he is apart, and I'll show you how I put him back together, just like I did with Dialtone. Dialtone, thank you very much for your help. Greatly appreciate it. Take a bow, and tell everybody bye. Bye. Until later. Bye. Okay, this is going to be a part 2 to repairing Xandar, Zartan, and Zarana. If you get in a hurry, it's going to be too easy to want to, or I should say, it's going to be too easy to want to be in a hurry and push and pull real quick. I definitely don't recommend that. Just take your time, do light scores a couple times. Make sure you got plenty of light so you can see really good. Now, other people have recommended that you could take fishing wire here, or fish string, whatever you want to call it, and you put an O-ring on here up through, and then take this, tie it around it, and go through the cavity, the hole, go up and around and back down. Well, if you do, make sure that you have a very small, thin fishing string, fishing wire. Different people call it different things. And as you pull it back down through the waist, at that point, I don't know how you're going to hook it back on here. It's basically you're simply taking the O-ring, dragging both pieces up and around and down. I just don't see how that could work. But if you can, great. Tell me about your experience as you repair your Zartans and Xandar and Zarana. Hopefully you will have good results. At least I hope you do. That's why I'm making this video. I have looked on YouTube and Google to try to find if there was anybody that actually repaired and kind of showed step by step at least, or helpful hints. I seen one video where a guy said he already cut it apart. I saw another guy where he at a garage sale actually took a bandsaw straight up, and wow, there was a gap, and it did not look right at all to me. Now, if you're using it too thin, it's too easy to make multiple cuts. So just go real lightly, and definitely, I cannot emphasize this enough, take your time. Because the thinner it is, the harder it is to see the groove. But I think I'm going to be doing okay with this. And then I'm not too sure if I have to do the shoulder. I didn't have to do the shoulders for Xandar. I did slightly score twice, and when I got all through him, it was interesting. And actually, you know what? I'll stop this for a minute, and I'll share with you one of the results and why you want to be very careful. Sorry, Xandar. Okay, use a thumbnail, fingernail, kind of separate right here. And okay, there we go. Now, the one thing you got to be careful the most, not only having a big gouge in the plastic, you can actually take the tip of the blade and accidentally cut the peg, and I did that on that. Maybe that's why he has such a kind of big gap. But I used the exact same method of changing the O-ring on him that I did with Dialtone that you saw. These dreadnoughts, I could see why they call them dreadnoughts. It's a dread to want to change the O-rings in them. They are such a pain. I've seen people decide that they didn't want to do the changing of the O-ring and simply just use super glue. And there's nothing wrong with that if that's what you want to do. Is come on, get back in there. Why does he not want to go back in there? Oh, I don't have it pushed all the way. There we go. There we go. Yep. And just a simple, and say ta-da, take a bow. All right. So that will be this video. Wish you guys the best success in repairing your, like I said, your Zartans, your Xandars, your Zaranas. Just definitely take your time. It's definitely not easy by any means because of the glue that they used. I had one other person tell me to use turpentine, and no, I'm going to be against that. Because anything that can melt plastic or have some kind of chemical reaction, I just don't feel safe doing that. So just take your time and just be careful. Give yourself a lot of light as well. The more light you have, the better off you can see. And I would definitely recommend, before you even start, cutting into the plastic, wear safety glasses. Better be safe, because the last thing you want to do is have a piece go flying at you, hit you in the face. And make sure that you have a quiet place, a sturdy place, where nobody's going to run into a table if you're working at a table or a desk. Just definitely take your time. Till next time, Chief 321 out. Part 3 of repairing Zartan. As you take a look, I got all the way through, finally. Now, he will go back together, and this part here is going to be covered up by his hips, so I'm not too worried about that. Very minor right through there. Now, the hardest part I see is going to be trying to hold his hair out of the way to get from here. Let's see if I can zoom in here. Go from here all the way up to here. Now, since it dips down for his shoulder strap that holds his chest plate on, that might be a little difficult. Take your time. You might have to move this as you lightly score. Be very, very careful and take your time. Then when we get over to the other side, this is clumsy here. As you can tell, he decided to hop up here. Like I said, make sure you have peace and quiet. He didn't listen. So just, like I said, be careful. Take your time. Going with a thinner blade, I found that it actually didn't take 55 minutes each side like it did with Xandar. I'm very grateful for that. It has only taken about 30 minutes on each side, so time saved is time kept. Okay, this might be a part of part 3. This might even have to be a part 4. I'm not too sure at this point. At this point, I finally got through and separated the chest. As you can see, it finally opened up. The problem was, especially with this, was this part right here. It had so much glue. I had to switch back to the bigger blade just to be able to get all the way in and put a little pressure. I scored a couple times, and it finally just, you could see the ring hopefully very well right through here. I didn't like doing that. Now here comes the issue you may or may not run into. There was no O-ring in here. So now, with not knowing exactly what size O-ring he had, do I go with a new one, a slight used one, or one of these? I'm going to go ahead and start with the one I got from the pack here, and This size here is the one I'm going with. The 10 millimeter by 14 times 2 millimeter. And we're going to go ahead and attempt to put all this together. At this point in the process, it has taken me probably close to 40-45 minutes at this point to get him completely apart. I didn't want to make a very long video. I might have to make a bunch of short ones, and I'm fine with that. As you can tell, I'm a bit tired at this point, but I wanted to kind of get this done so I can get this kind of uploaded. In these videos, you probably won't see me saying my normal greetings or so on and so forth. It's more or less, it's not about me. It's about getting them repaired. And this is hopefully a very helpful video for everybody that has a Zartan and a Zarana. I'm really grateful for Bob. Thank you very much for telling me about the X-Acto knife. Kitty, leave it alone. Quit. You're interrupting my video. Like I said, make sure if you're doing this that you have peace and quiet. And you got a good place to do this. Okay, now we're going to borrow a screw from the soldier here, since this one here was already glued, and see if it'll fit on Zartan here, because Zartan's actually missing his. And I wanted to actually show everybody that what Bob has taught me actually works. And Bob, if you see this video, let me know what you think. I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you for the advice. Oh, and one more thing before I forget. This is a shout out to my dad. I was telling him what I was doing with the action figures. And he said, if I'm having this much trouble repairing these particular three, why not take your O-ring, dip it in Vaseline, let it set basically overnight, take it out and lightly wipe off the excess by a paper towel. Don't get it completely dry. You want it to be shiny. And he goes, when you put them in these three here, since they're so difficult, it should actually last a lot longer. And ta-da! My Zartan version 2 is now back together, and I haven't seen him like that since I bought him new. So, Master Disguise, I would definitely say so. Thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoy the different videos I've done. If you like these videos, please give it a thumbs up. If you don't, go ahead, give it a thumbs down. Either way, I'm good. And please don't forget to subscribe. If you definitely enjoy this, and you know people that have these three right here. Of course, Zartan is laying down on a job. If you definitely have these three action figures, or you know someone that does, please let them direct them to this videos. Yes, there are a couple short videos together, but I just wanted to share with everybody what I have learned, and hopefully what I've learned will help you guys repair yours. I wish these three here, Xandar, Zartan, and Zarana, I really hoped they were as easy as Dialtone here, but they weren't. He was the hardest one, and usually the first one is the hardest one to do. Unfortunately, Zartan was harder because evidently, since he's older, the glue was more solid, and that was some really good crazy glue, or whatever glue they used. That was amazing. But he took 2 hours just to open him up, just to change his O-ring, versus an hour with the right tools. The right tools definitely make the difference, in my mind, in my opinion. I used a number 11 on Zartan here, like I said. I don't know if that's coming up in good or not. I hope so, and I hope everybody enjoys this repair video of these. So, till next time, next weekend, we're going to be having the unboxing of the G.I. Joe headquarters, and that might be a 3-part as well. So, thank you guys for watching. Have a great and wonderful week or weekend, whatever day it is for you. Till next time. Later. Bye.